Good evening. Hello and welcome to a new edition of Windows. I'm Mohammed Abdurrahim, and tonight we'll be talking about the development strategies for higher education in Egypt. This very important file that certainly plays a big role in the development of any society, education. We'll be doing that in the company of our distinguished guests here with us in the studio, Dr. Mahmoud Azmi, who is an international higher educational consultant and also the president of the Egyptian American Council. A very good evening to you, Dr. Azmi, and thank you for joining us.
Good evening to you. Thank you so much for having me here.
Thank you, Dr. Azmi. And certainly when we say education, I mean nations advance by developing education, by prospering in the health sector. We always have them together, coupled, health and education, education and health. You're an expert in education. So tell us, where do we stand now, and what are we aiming to achieve? How fast or slow are we moving? The goals that we should set to ourselves, the goals that we need to achieve, and the time span that we need to achieve it in, so as to fulfill the aspirations of the Egyptian people in the very important file of education.
Okay, actually it's an extremely important topic, and the President Sisi, which really I appreciate so much, that he took the initiative to announce in 2017 that he would like to develop the education in Egypt. This topic, it's quite large, and if you allow me, let us
Please.
take the structure from top and go down step by step to see exactly what's for us and what's against us. We have the one which leads the entire system in Egypt is the Ministry of Higher Education. The Ministry of Higher Education, we have a beautiful and very good ministers, come one after the other, but unfortunately there is no policy, set policy for the higher education in Egypt.
So just to be clear to the viewers, we're just talking about higher education here. We're not talking about schools, we're talking about universities.
Actually, we are talking about higher education, and if we speak about schools, school developed higher education, but higher education is the factory which developed the figures who will run the country. Therefore, it's very important to talk about higher education, and then we can touch the education if you want. There is no policy. Every minister comes, set his own policy, and by time even he start moving, maybe he leaves, maybe go to another position. This is one of really the weakness of our higher education system. Under that, there are two divisions. One is the Supreme Council of Universities, which for state university and private universities. And the other one is the National Authority for Quality Assurance and Accreditation for Education. Let us take the Supreme Council of Universities. Supreme Council of Universities has divisions, each one for one of the majors. Has a committee. That committee already set the system and the rules for the colleges in this major, let's say business, engineering, etc. In Egypt, we follow credit hour system. The credit hour system is developed in America, and when it was developed, they designed it based on opinions of academicians and psychologists. They studied the students, and they decided that each student cannot, average students cannot have more than 12 hours
per semester.
load per semester. And they said 12 hours in winter, 12 hours in summer, in fall, then 24, 6 in the summer become 30 in 4 years,
That's the maximum.
120. Unfortunately, our people here, even though we are following the credit hour system and we are accepting any degree comes from America blindly, we accept it, 120 credits. They said average students cannot take more than 12 credits. A very good students can take 15 credits, and excellent students can take 18 credits, and those two cannot even earn these extra credits without permission from their advisor. Now, here in Egypt, these committees already set the system that the students must study 144 credits.
Correct. So we are assuming that all the students are very good students.
No, they are excellent,
Excellent students.
which is not right. Because
Which can never be the case in any country in the world. You can never have excellent students
Exactly.
around the
Exactly.
all across. It's
cannot-
impossible, be it in Egypt or any country. in the world.
Absolutely, absolutely. Therefore, they said there is an average, there is a good, there is very good, there is excellent. Then this one of the weakness they have. The other thing is when they said
So why was this done? I mean,
why?
Yeah.
Because they think giving more load to the students, it shows that we are good quality education, which is not. Is not. Good quality education can be based on the quality of the curriculums. Do you know that unfortunately, none of the schools in Egypt, when I say schools, it means colleges, none of the schools in Egypt teach communication, interpersonal communication, except the mass communication. Although our life depends in communication. When you wake up in the morning, you communicate with yourself, even you communicate with, it means we cannot live without communication. They do not have communication. Now, we have the other division, which is National Authority for Quality Assurance and Accreditation for Education, which doesn't belong to Ministry of Higher Education, but it belongs to the Prime Minister. They are responsible to provide to the Supreme Council of Universities report about those schools who are really fulfilling the requirements or not. Unfortunately, they don't do it. They let a lot of things go, and it is very well known among all universities. It's called this set up files organization. It means make your files ready, and then the organization will go through and will pass the exams. In fact, I spoke to, in a visit to the chairman, the former chairman, and I told her about a few points. One of them, for example, whatever it's necessary to do, it's student evaluation to the teacher. Teacher has to be evaluated by two parts. One called student evaluation, and the other is teacher observation. In student evaluation, they give each student a sheet which has questions. The student will answer those questions. Based on this, the chairman or the dean will review the teacher's results, and if the teacher earn under 50%, they give him warning. Next time, another warning. Third time, they tell him, please go, because it's not good. At the same time, we have something called teacher observation. Each college, the chairman will sit about 4 or 5 pages, has questions, and they allow one teacher who is the same level or higher than the teachers going to be observed. As long as you are under 10 semesters in this university, then you are observed, you must. The teacher who observes doesn't do anything but answer questions, answer whatever is his. In Egypt, They said it's forbidden. We will not, in our dead body, we will not allow anyone to come and observe me from the class. Of course, how can you get quality? Now, it is very well known, there is no one teacher was asked to leave because he's bad quality based on the students or based on other reviews. So how can you get quality education? It's impossible. And how can you give accreditation to universities and you yourself, you don't know? You know that, as they say, if you don't have it, you cannot give it. Those officers who goes and do the accreditation for the universities, they are not fully aware of the credit hour system. And that's not me, it's international statistic said that only 5% of the academicians in underdeveloping countries are just aware of the credit hour system. And 1% of supporting staff, the same issue. So, if only 5% just aware, not even knows, just aware, how do you expect them to evaluate system? They don't know it. This is, from top, we have to really work on these three sections.
So are there currently proposals given to the Ministry of Higher Education or to the Supreme Council of Universities on that regard? Have you or have scholars like yourself?
I did.
Or experts proposed these amendments or these modifications?
Yes, sir. We made, actually, not only myself, there is a group of academicians in America, even not only Egyptians, immigrants, Egyptian Americans, no, also non-Egyptians, American non-Egyptians. They got together and we made the study about what Egypt needs, which is about 13 points. One of them is to develop awareness of the credit hour system in the universities. But unfortunately, we never got any response from the authorities. Okay. I took it upon myself. I went knocking the doors in universities to give presentation, which I did. Managed, so far I made in 9 universities so far. And I did overseas also on behalf of Egypt.
So which world academic system do we follow in Egypt?
We used to follow the European system, but for some times now we are following credit hour system, which is the American credit hour system. And this is one of the other things also, which I blame Ministry of Higher Education. This system actually built or designed to develop personality in a student, that he will be aware of how to handle situations when he graduates. One of them, it says it's a credit hour. It means you are responsible to earn 120 hours. If you finish them in 3 years, graduate. 3.5, graduate. Unfortunately, the last semester, see, we are adopting this for about 15 years now, only last semester, the Ministry of Higher Education allowed students to graduate in 3.5 years rather than 4 years if they complete 120 credits. Before that, which you will never believe, they used to say if a student, you know, the students who manage to get 120 before his colleagues, it means he's smart enough, he has motivation. How can I kill his motivation? How can I really hurt him to tell him, as you used to do, no, you finished, yes.
You wait.
Sit at home till your friends graduate.
So, but you said 144. Why are you saying 120 now?
120, it's a credit hour system supposed to be. We develop 144, 132. Each university does it differently. Okay. Unfortunately.
According maybe also to the to what they study. I mean, it's obvious that in engineering
No,
schools, for
engineering,
instance, it's
engineering
180, if I'm
yes,
correct.
engineering 158.
Yeah, and medicine, of course, should be different, different from law, from business, from. I
Well,
mean, each one should have its own. Naturally, should have its
whatever
own
I'm talking about
requirements.
is theoretical courses.
Yeah.
Like all theoretical colleges, business, liberal arts,
Right.
mass communication,
Right.
those 120.
So
Engineering
should we expect
158.
this to be modified? I mean, should we expect that in the near future we would see students required only to fulfill 120 credit hours instead of 144? Is that possible to be achieved in the near future?
It is one possible only. If President Sisi can hear about our conversation and he said to the minister, do it. That's it. But it's we are for a long time, and I don't know why those committees in Supreme Council of Universities are trying to brag about we actually give hard time to the students by making him study 144, 100.
Of course, they will not say they give hard time.
No,
they will
no,
say
no,
we
no,
teach
no.
them more. I mean,
No, no, no,
that's
no.
what-
It's not. They never said so, but actually
Yeah.
they do it differently. They try to say that we are trying to develop a good quality student. Good quality students is not by volume of books study.
Sure,
It's
sure.
critical thinking. You have
Sure.
to teach him.
Creativity.
Yes, absolutely.
Before we move on, Dr. Azmi, I just wanted to ask you about something because we are seeing in the past few years here in Egypt a diversification, if you will, of the type of universities that we have in Egypt. In fact, we have more technical universities now. We have more non-governmental universities, the civil society universities. So we are spending, I believe that we are trying to spend more on higher education, to have more universities, to have Egyptian students, to give them more access to different types of universities, with different also, to meet also the abilities, the financial abilities of families, and also to diversify, like the technical universities I'm talking about. So what's your opinion on these efforts?
First of all, the new line which trying to develop kind of measures to serve the public and to serve the need of the market, this is very good. But the mistake which they developed because President Sisi requested that to have a foreign universities here in Egypt, then they start blindly calling for branch campus. Branch campus is not good idea because branch campus will never help developing education in Egypt. Will only help students to earn a foreign diploma. That's it. So how can we do both? How we can do whatever President Sisi asked and also develop the education system in Egypt is by having dual degree academic affiliations.
This is happening.
No, no. What is happening only, I think, only, which no one graduated till now, I think in El Galala University they are trying to do it with Arizona State University, but
Many universities, Dr. Azmi, have this dual.
I'm sorry?
Many universities hand out these dual degrees.
Okay, I will be glad to know which one. You tell me which one. I don't think. No, they do have a foreign universities, like
They have programs within the university
Yes.
that give dual degrees.
yes, but for example, when they said bring, let me go back for one
Please.
important part. When you invite university to have a dual degree with you or to have an academic affiliation, that university is accredited by accreditation agency in its country. That accrediting agency will never allow them to be affiliated with you unless you become to the same level of accreditation like theirs. And here, if we do it, we are gaining. We are asking our universities to pull up and go up to the international level, and then we are developing the accreditation system. But when you have a branch, yes, they try to please the authority. They said, okay, the first, for your information, the first university came to Egypt, the one they brought it, it's from, without mentioning names, supposed to be, as per their request, one of the top 500 in the world. That university ranked 1,384, and now even it's out of the ranking because went behind 2,000. You have Cairo University is one of the top 500. Then your Cairo University is far better than them. Then what good about it if I bring a foreign university and I have a better quality ones here? Then we have to have something will pull us up, pull our educational system up. We have to look outside. We shouldn't say that we know it all, because no one knows it all.
Of course.
No one. Then we should look around. We should ask for help and try to develop our system.
Sure. Surely the academic system in the university is very important. So what are the proposals to improve the academic system?
Well, first, administrative system. Administrative system must be give a free hand to each one. Like the president should not be told from the minister of higher education what to do. The dean cannot be told. Everyone should take care of his job, from the minister to the teacher. This one important, extremely important thing. But if I have the knowledge, if I have the ability, and you paid me money, you hired me to teach course, don't come and stand on top of my head, tell me do and do. No, I do it the way I want. And that's whatever it's supposed to be. But not to say that, why do I have to do it? They will tell me no. Then you don't do it. No, you have to have the freedom in operating your position. Whatever you are doing, you are a teacher, you are a chairman, you are a dean, you are a president, you are a minister. All of us, we are officers. There is no doubt. All of us are officers. Everyone get paid to do part. For example, you know that the book which students study, here in Egypt, the teacher print his own book and sell it to the student. In create our system, no, it is not allowed. How it happened? Everyone who published book in this subject can present a copy of this book to the college council. And the college council will study which book is good to be taught. And each book will be changed after 2 years. In 2 years, you cannot have it because the information is changed every 18 hours. Then you don't keep book after more than 2 years. But here...
No, but I'm sorry to interrupt here, Dr. Azmi. But say you're having a book about, for instance, mathematics, for instance. I mean, what would change in 18 hours or even in 2 years?
There's a lot, listen. There is no one topic involves technology, and there is no change on it. Even mathematics. Mathematics, yes, they develop. Now, those
if you're teaching geography, for instance, I mean, what? Okay. I'm just trying to think with you.
Well, I'm thinking.
Some things can last for.
I'm thinking with you.
Yeah.
Geography, for example. This year, did we suffer any cold? It was a very hot summer, extremely hot summer, no cold weather. Is this the one which we always study in geography? No, it's different. Everything's different. Those Nobel Prize winners in mathematics, why? Because they developed a new area, a new thing. This new thing comes into the books, for example. And examples. You develop more examples, especially with the net and the new ideas, a new system of solving and working
Well,
out.
certainly there are many
That's what I'm
domains
saying.
that have to be updated.
That's what
But
I'm
I
saying.
thought that some other domains, like history maybe, it's like I'm just off the tip of my mind, some domains, you could have books that can last for a long time and not necessarily have to change it.
You can have a book of history because you are talking about history, okay? And that's standard. But you cannot take books about a lot of other subjects. Then when they do something generalized, they are not going to do it specifically for one major or something. But in general, no. 2 years and you change the book. You can take your book and you can add a new chapter. You remove information, you add a new information, and cover it again and resubmit it, and it comes back again. But it is not like now here, teacher is fighting for this subject, must teach this subject because he printed 2,000 books and would like to sell it to the students. No, it doesn't work this way.
So we have teachers. You're really focusing on the teachers. They are a very important part of the process. So how do we develop?
Can I tell you something?
Yeah.
If you ask about how to develop education, I can tell you teacher. Tell me number 2, I tell you teacher. Tell me number 3, I tell you teacher.
So what is the best way
Okay, the best
to
way,
develop
the best
teachers?
way. The best way, the teacher, first, teacher must be under observation and knows that he is a teacher. What does it mean, a teacher? Teacher, he is one who has a knowledge, information. The students paid money to earn this information, then the teacher must deliver successfully the information to the students. The teacher is not a master, is not God gift on ground, is nothing more than an officer getting paid because he has knowledge, and those students would like to have this knowledge. This is number 1. Number 2, we have to believe what is wrong to be evaluated, what's wrong to be observed, why the dean doesn't take an action against teacher who is messing around and doesn't help the students, and students are complaining. Have you ever heard of a teacher was expelled or even ask him to take another position because the students complained against him? No, never. Why? Because
Maybe it happens in private schools.
in private schools, yes, but how private schools also operate? Dean who appoint his friends, then it is not easy for him to tell his friends, excuse me, student doesn't like you. He may put him in another class, but it's not easy. But honestly, whatever I'm saying doesn't apply to everyone. There are a few, and I witness a case when students refuse to continue the semester with specific teacher, and they ask another teacher to take over. But because the students stood up for themselves, they said no. You know that one of the requirements in credit hour system, no one supposed to be teaching in the class except a doctorate degree holder and above. I mean, yes, assistant professor, associate professor, or a professor. You cannot have an instructor, even with a master degree, to teach a course. You cannot have one to grade the students who doesn't have. Now, this national authority, when they go to do accreditation, they're supposed to call the students alone, no one with them, and ask them about all these things. Who teaches this course? Who teaches that course? Do you do this? No, never done. Never. I'm not talking because I think it is. No, I'm talking because I already investigated and I saw these things clearly. They don't, and these things very dangerous. When you have a student lost the trust, actually, one day they refused to fill the form for the evaluation. Then I asked them why. Said, what good about it? They was thrown in the garbage. We never complained about a teacher, and the teacher left. He's teaching us again and again and again. Then the students learn from when he is young how to cheat, how the government, how the school cheating him, and that's not good. You need to teach students that he has an opinion, and when he says opinion, his opinion will be considered. This is one of his personality. You are not teaching, by the way. We are not in a school not teaching a book. We are actually adjusting the personality and the character of the students to develop someone who will be successfully running this country.
Indeed. Well, enjoyed listening to you, Dr. Azmi, but unfortunately time is up. I'm sure we'll have more to talk
Definitely we
about
will.
in this very important file of education and higher education here in Egypt. Dear viewers, on behalf of you, we thank very much Dr. Mahmoud Azmi, the International Higher Education Consultant and the President of the Egyptian American Council. Thank you very much for
Thank
being
you
with
so
us.
much for having me here.
Thank you,
Hope we
sir.
have more time, inshallah.
Inshallah. Thank you, sir, very much.
You are very
And
welcome.
thank you, dear viewers, for watching us.